What's up? Good evening, whatever you are witnessing that right now. We want to welcome you. This is Screen Vision. My name is Titus V. Ballah. I have my colleagues in the back. I want to say happy Mother's Day to all the beautiful moms in the building, man. We're talking about those moms that understands when a child is hungry. I want to say thank you to you for your hard work, for giving birth to us. Let me do it for my own mom, Patient W. That's my mom, man. I love you so much. And my uncle wife, Mrs. W. Thank you so much for the hard work, for taking care of all the children. You and myself, we appreciate all the mothers in the building. I want to say thank you so much. You know, it's not easy to take care of children. It's not easy to even give birth to care a child for 9 months. It's not easy. Some people skip this kind of a responsibility. They know what they can do to skip the kind of a responsibility, which is not good, you know. But some of you, that's part of the problem, the circumstances that occur around your pregnancy. You carry on that kid for 9 months, and today I think you somehow benefiting from you know, your effort, your labor is somehow benefiting. Though there is not all parents that are benefiting. Some of them, they're like, why? I mean, if I knew, I just going to take her the pregnancy. See this guy, see her, she's not even doing nothing. She's just bringing shame to me. But I want to say, just continue praying for that kid. You know, God going to work, you know, help you in the process. He or she going to come back to a normal status. Trust me. There is nothing God cannot do. So I want to say happy Mother's Day to all the beautiful mothers in the building. You know, thank you so much. Thank you. We don't really have a pay for you. You know, just to appreciate you and tell God thank you for carrying you through. Yeah, most especially those mothers that are always there to support their children. Yeah, supporting the children back and forth. It's not easy. So I want to say thank you so much. And may God continue to bless you. On this note, my name is Titus V. Ballah, and tonight we're going to have a very good discussion. We've been facing some technical problems. That's why we are coming on at this time. You know, we don't want to postpone the show. Yeah, to say, oh, we want to postpone the show for maybe Sunday. So we're just going to have a short conversation with the former chairman of the Liberian Community in Rwanda, that's the man Emmanuel Patrick. Mr. Emmanuel Patrick going to join us shortly to have a conversation centered around community development and put small politics within it. You know, the chairman, the former chairman been out of politics for long now. You know, the man is living a private life. Want to know how is it like, you know, looking at the law when you're in politics as it relates to activity, receiving calls, solving problems for other people, and now he's out of politics. Not politics, but he's not really sitting in that seat right now. How is it like as an individual now, just in the community? Though I know he's still solving some problem for some people, but it's not like before. So we're also going to talk something like that. So let me bring my camera on. Sylvester JJ is in the back. He's one of our strong panelists. He's very supportive, and we want to applaud him for that. We also want to say happy Mother's Day to his mom. We want to say thank you for bringing your brilliant son on earth. You know, he's really supportive. He when it comes to finance issue, he's also there. He's the one who was taking care of the entire diaspora finance here. So I mean, the comrade is good when it comes to that era as well. But when it comes to social activities, he also connect with friends. You know, and these are kind of people who love in the society. He support dreams. And that's why he always make his duty to come on every time when we're having a discussion. So I want to appreciate him and all those mothers that are also in the chat room. Our Screen Vision family, we want to say happy Mother Days to you. To our male, we want to say happy Mother Days to all your mom. Every one of you want to say happy Mother Day to your mom as well. It's not only JJ, Broske, Guambei, Prince A.S. Williams, who there, David, Davis, happy Mother Days to you guys, mom. We want to say thanks to them for the hard work they did, by bringing you guys on. So let me bring JJ. I think he's pretty seated at the back. Comrade, good evening. How you doing?
Yeah, good evening, Mr. Ballah, and good evening to our listeners. And let me just add to what you just mentioned. Happy Mother's Day to our loving and caring mom. And also happy Mother's Day to our big sisters who one way or the other play, the mother role in our
Yeah.
life in the absence of, far away from mama. So it's good to be here again, and I'm looking forward to having an interesting conversation with my former boss. So now I'm sitting into work capacity, but at least I'm glad that we were able to reach him, so at least we can unpack some issues pertaining to our communities. Thank you very much, Isabella.
Okay. Okay, so thank you so much. I saw the pellet song on air, and I want to ask you. We were discussing something on your back, and you said, "Oh, man, I don't want to put myself in problem with God to this Sunday." But it was kind of interesting when I was scrolling on Facebook and I saw this from a man of God. It was actually on Mama Liberia page when the pastor was asking a woman. It's kind of interesting. Many people playing it around. So I don't know whether you came across that post.
No, I haven't seen that post.
Yeah, but I can play you, yeah. I can play you now anything. I can play you, yeah. Yeah. So folks, if you are watching, can you share our show? You can just drop your comment in the comment section and trust me, we're going to call your name out, we're going to give you, we're going to recognize you so that your effort can just go in vain. We want to say thank you for your hard work and happy Mother's Day to all the beautiful women that are following. So this is
God give you girl. You did you date ultrasound?
hey,
If I tell you what about child, don't tell me what did the ultrasound say. Or I can tell you what about child in your stomach. When you did your ultrasound
Last month.
last month, tell to me, let me see the child. Let me know what the child sit. They say child sit there better. And the word of that.
okay, so I think you got a Jezebel, the middle of God asking the woman whether she did or just yeah. So for me, I'm not really looking at the English, the did or just no. As I only looking at the portion where you are saying like the child is not seated well. And the woman said she did ultrasound, yes, of course, but she going to give the tour ball, and the pastor said she's going to give birth to girl. I mean, God can work in the mysterious ways. I don't know. What's your take on this whole issue before we bring the chairman?
God can work in a mysterious way. That is no doubt. But like I said,
Yeah,
Mr.
sure.
Bala, in the realm of the spirit, grammar doesn't matter.
No, I just stated I don't. I'm not really focused on the grammar aspect. Yeah, the
Yeah.
audio sound. I don't have problem on the grammar aspect. I only
But
looking at
this
the
Sunday, I
portion
don't
where,
want to be in conflict with God. Just not my
like I
mother,
said,
with my
the
brother,
the,
no
the
harm.
The other guy said during the high school days, they were debating and he went on the side and said money is better than education. So he was like telling money, sorry, I beg you money because at that time I was small.
That's the truth. Before our guests come on, this guy, he's a content creator. He serves in one of our security unit, I think in immigration. And he
Okay.
posted a video where his lecturer was asking him about the Berlin conference, and imagine that the guy is in immigration. Berlin conference has nothing to do. So it just align with what you just mentioned. Sometimes these things that are being taught in schools, are not what is actually in the labor market. So that
Definitely.
guy, he's absolutely right to apologize to. The
To
money.
apologize to money, yeah.
Yeah, of course, brother. Because the thing now you learn school, now the thing now put food in your table. Maybe you now you go
Definitely.
Canada, environmental study when I put food.
You gotta work.
Yeah, maybe you go Canada, environmental study when I put food in your table. Maybe you toting cartoon or you driving truck.
Sometimes,
You just gotta
sometimes
apologize for money.
it good to scroll on the internet sometimes when when you somehow stressed, to free your mind. I saw the other guy who say every day I hear people bombarding Satan, saying a whole lot of things. But you wasn't there. What happened up there between Satan and God? And you just hear Satan this, Satan that, Satan this. So the message for me, I'm not part of such a conversation. Satan, I'm not part of it. I don't know. I don't know what happened between you and God. So you guys can discuss your issue. But anyway, sometimes it's good to share fun. Like I said, scroll on internet. It's good to free your mind. That's why all the comedians are around. Sometimes if you are somehow feeling like, I mean, you cannot just go on a page and then scrape free your mind. We just talking about Satan. We don't know what happened between Satan and God up there. But every time we there, Satan do this, Satan do that, Satan do this. So I think God knows the reason he sent Satan down. So on this note, I want to say thank you so much for joining us. We always do this before coming on to share some of fun, and so forth. So let's try to bring Mr. Emmanuel Patrick. Let's try to bring Mr. Emmanuel Patrick on, for the conversation tonight. Sorry. Let's try to bring Mr. Emmanuel Patrick on for the conversation tonight. Okay. So I think Patrick is on the screen. Let's try to bring him on, and today we're going to discuss. You see, the chairman is well seated. And we've been facing some technical issue actually. That's why we are coming on late. So we want to apologize for that. We're still trying to connect, but like we said, we don't want to postpone the show because there are a lot of expectation out there. People wanting to listen to the chairman. We've been receiving some calls. It's important that we bring the chairman on. He's been out of, should I say, out of community politics for some time now. He's no longer the chairman. You're gonna tell us how is it like? How is it like when you are sorry? Okay, you're gonna tell us how is it like when you are out of politics. So just to have that kind of a discussion. Yeah, he's actually been around for some time now. He served. He turned when he was in power, serving as chairman. He did what he could do, and now today he's no longer chairman. So what how is it like, living out of the kind of a position? At first, if you are chairman, you will receive a lot of calls. You have a lot of responsibilities. You have too many things doing. Sometimes you don't even focus on your own, work as an individual because you have to show that the community responsibilities. But that's a whole bundle. So if you want to become a leader, these are things you need to look into before taking that responsibility, because sometimes your own activities you won't do it because you have to serve the people. So that's why it's good sometimes to appreciate these people, because not everybody have that kind of a capacity to show such a position or responsibilities. Just imagine you have more than 3,000, for example, or 3,000 plus community members that you and your crew, your team have to work with. Some people have problem to police station. Some people have problem with their school. You have to go there. You have problem with immigration. You have to intervene as a chairman. So we want to appreciate the chairman, present, current chairman. We want to appreciate there's a present and past chairman. We want to appreciate you guys. Now, Mr. Patrick is on now. Patrick, good evening. We are doing good. I don't know whether just JJ is hearing you. JJ, are you getting Emmanuel Patrick?
I'm trying to. But maybe I need to
Yeah,
increase
so
my
you
phone.
can,
Yeah,
you
I'm
can,
trying.
you can. Yeah, go ahead, Patrick. Welcome. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you so much. Good evening to the Stream Vision family. Good evening to the Liberian community in Rwanda. Let me begin first and foremost by extending Happy Mother's Day to our mothers, who have dedicated so much of their lives to making us, become the individuals that society expects us to be. Yeah, so it's a privilege being here with you guys tonight. I thanks again once more for the invitation.
Okay, thank you. So with me, I have our Sylvester Blessing JJ. I think he's on the screen. Prince A.S. Williams will also join us for the conversation tonight. So though you know JJ, but I think Sylvester will introduce himself for the sake of the audience. Probably there are some people who just start following us, so that you can know. JJ, can I introduce yourself? Let's start the show.
Yeah, good evening to our listeners out there, and my name is JJ, one of the long-term panelists on Screen Vision. Thank you very much.
Definitely, like he put it, he's one of the long serving panelists on this platform, which we do appreciate his effort. So, folks, if you are watching, you can share the live, share the show in your various chat rooms. We have Mr. Emmanuel Patrick, former chairman of the Liberian Community here in Rwanda. You know, who during a turn there were a lot of development, that were undertake doing, his tenure. He worked with the people, though it was not his one, but as a leader, all the activities will always be like you, and that's why even in this country, yeah, everybody putting on the president. But I mean, all those development you seeing going on in various countries, not only the president, you have various co-workers, you have ministers, all those people that supporting the president in the process. And so I think that's how it look like. He has his own members. So we do appreciate. So Mr. Emmanuel Patrick, want to say thanks for joining us. So firstly, let's start with this. How is it like since you've been out of the position? How are things been like? At first, like I mentioned earlier, when you were there were a lot of responsibility. I know sometimes you used to forgo your own responsibility and then focus on the community just to fulfill your dream and to get the community where you wanted it to be at the time. So how things like? Let's hear from you.
Well, thank you, Mr. Ballah. So, let me first of all begin, as always, extending my deepest of appreciations to our community for providing us the opportunity to serve them. As I've always maintained over the years, that service to our people and leadership in general is not our right. It is a privilege bestowed upon us by the people, to serve their interests. And as such, we serve them in whatever way we see, best to represent their interests and to ensure that, especially as a diaspora community, to ensure that we can be able to their interests and the interests of our nation in Rwanda in the absence of Liberian foreign nations here. So, vision to, private life out of the community leadership has been quite unique. I've had the opportunity to sit at the back, and to just observe what is going on, what the current leadership is doing, their own aspirations and views, and we've been able to also focus on other aspects of our life. Because as you may be aware, our life is not just centered around the community leadership. We also have other things that we need to focus on, and I think it has been quite rewarding. But it is important that when we leave community leadership, that at least once in a while we come back, assist our community so that we, help the community to move forward. When I serve as chairperson under the second National Administrative Council, we had other people that served the community previously came around, and we worked together, and to see that the visions of the community, is progressive. And that is something that some of us, we are willing to do, and we've always been committed to. So it has been very rewarding, and thank you.
You know, you have Vic doing your turn. Vic, though you ain't contested, but you won at the time. So Vic, I think Vic supported you, and according to you, I think it's good to always support development, because once you are serving former chairman, it means that you been in a position, you had other connection that I think you can work with the current leadership, so you guys can move the community forward, because that's the overall who are serving as a leader. The common denominator is to carry the community, is the community, and what we want is for the community to go forward, in every way in terms of development. So you've been sitting, according to you, been watching, and how is it like from your own observation in terms of what development, community development, and that we'll dive into politics later. But that looking at what you did, I don't know whether we can also start from some of the activities that you did before you could your tenure in, and then we can continue with what these guys are also doing, the new leadership, you know.
So, when we took over the community leadership, um, there are a lot of things that was not in place at the time. We had a constitution at the time, that they now even provides responsibilities for members of the National Administrative Council and the National Executive Committee. We also had a constitution that said nothing about the thing of committees, how committees should be structured, how financing the community should be managed. And so when we took over, that was our first objective, to make sure that we try to, review the constitution of our community. And as a matter of fact, considering that the Rwandan governance rule requirement for the registration of our community was for us to have a statute rather than a constitution, we decided to transform that constitution into a statute. A committee was then appointed for that purpose, and a lot of the groups provided recommendation, especially in terms of the financial policy, as the financial secretary is on the call as a panelist. He provided that recommendation, which was included in the statute of our community. And the statute was then completed and officially published in February of 2025. Also, when we took over the community, we had little, recognition with the Rwandan government. So that was also one of our major priorities, because in order for us to represent the interest of our people in Rwanda, we needed to build the necessary connections, with authorities in Rwanda here, so that when our people have problems, we can be able to engage with those authorities, to represent them. And when we took over, we had a successful meeting with the Rwandan National Police at its headquarters in Katiru, where we share with them that our people, when we have issues amongst us as Liberians, we are appealing to them that they afford us the opportunity as a diaspora community to be able to handle the issues amongst ourselves. And if we are unable to do so, then we can send, the issues back to them for resolution. And they were very open to that. I think some of you who have been to a police station now, you would realize that when you go there, they will send you back to your community. It was as a result of that meeting that we held with the Rwandan National Police. oversight of website for our community. When we took over, one of the things that we were key on is that we never wanted leaders of our community to be communicating community initiatives or sending official communications on behalf of the community using their personal emails. It becomes difficult because when the community decides to do an audit, so this person provide their email address for that audit purpose. It becomes an issue. They have complete access on that email. They can choose to delete whatever mail they have sent or not. And on that basis, we decided to provide everyone a professional email where they can be able to communicate community matters. So that even if you delete these emails from your personal device, the email remains on the server, and in time of audit, we can just easily go to the email server and we can be able to audit that. And successfully, we were able to accomplish that. We were able to launch the website of the community that have circulated across the community that we did not pay for the development of the website. It's absurd for people to argue that we did not pay for the website. The thing here is the website was not even built with community money in the first place. Prior to us taking off, we had a negotiation with Mr. Jonah, who became the developer of the website. That conversation was not even Emmanuel Patrick alone who had the conversation with Mr. Jonah. It was Mr. Sylvester, Blessing, JJ, and I who went at the home of Jonah, and we had that conversation. And during that conversation, Jonah charged us over $300K for him to build the website for the community. And we negotiated with him that we do not have that kind of resources. In fact, we are raising the money amongst ourselves in order for us to build a website for the community. And as such, we were pleading with him to please, kind of have some considerations. And we later on settled down for 200,000 Rwandan francs, so that he developed the website, and then he hosted the website for 2 years. That was the conversation and the agreement that we went through at the time. And that was not just me, as I said. Sylvester was present in that discussion. Even one Mr. Rennie, Sewara, one of them, were also in that conversation as well when we had a discussion at the home of Mr. Jonah. So ultimately, resources was generated amongst ourselves. NAC members contributed some funds, and other goodwill individuals like Aruninka Mano, who served the community once as financial secretary, contributed as well. Mr. Isaac Subu also contributed as well, to that website development, and we were able to pay Mr. Jonah for the website development. And then we went further, to acquiring an office for the community. When you go on the community website I gave on the 24th of August of 2022, there were 3 major promises that I made to the community. The first was that we will rebrand the community by ensuring, one, that the community, both the Rwandan government and the Liberian government. We also made a promise to the community that we will invest for the community, and as part of that promise, we fulfilled it on day one of our leadership. The next thing the next promise that was made to the community was that we will ensure that we acquire an office for the community where leaders of our community can have access to work, have meetings, and discuss issues pertinent of our community. Unfortunately, we were not able to achieve all of the visions we laid out for the community, which is normal in leadership. Initially, when we took over, the anticipation was hard, the motivation was passed that we would register the community within just a few months. But then we faced a lot of challenges as time went by with the statute, the passage of the statute. There were delays, also to get recommendation letter from the Gasabo district where the community office was located. Was also a problem as well. On numerous occasions, I visited the Gasabo district, but the bureaucracies were too much in that regard. And unfortunately, we were unable to register the community with the Rwandan government, which I also mentioned in my turnover address on the 24th of August of 2025. But when it comes to the registration, considering the fact that we were unable to register the community in Rwanda, what we thought was that let us ensure that our community is officially recognized by our own government, which is the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Liberia. And as part of that, in February of 2025, we officially submitted the application, of the Liberian community in Rwanda to both the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Liberia and the Office of Diaspora Affairs. So now if you see us receiving recognition from the Office of Diaspora Affairs, it's not something that happens, out of the blue. It was something that was initiated by our leadership since February of 2025 when we submitted the official, application document. The next thing is that we realized that our community was actively divided. And even as I speak to you today, the status of our community has not changed. And so what did we do as a leadership that was coming to power and, with the intention of making our community progressive? We fought to bring everyone across the table. And hence, we convened what we call the stakeholders engagement meeting. You were present, Mr. Ballah, you were present in that meeting. We invited past leaderships, the leadership of Mr. Johnson Kanu. We invited the leadership of Mr. V. Macmillan. And we invited other stakeholders in the community at the community office, including NEC members as well. In that meeting, we share with them our plans and visions for the community. And we also requested them for recommendation, so that we all work together collectively for the progress of our community. And as part of that, there were recommendations provided by stakeholders in that meeting. Some of those recommendations were acted upon, and some of those recommendations was not acted upon, as it is a normal thing in leadership. So, excluding bringing our community together, bringing the leaders of our community together, we also decided to engage with community activities, carry on community initiatives and activities so that, we can bring our people together through things such as sport, and other activities as well. And hence we held the All Liberian Festival, a really unique program where Liberians from across the country, we all gathered in the same year, celebrated our culture, rebranded the image of our country, and showcase the uniqueness of our diversity in culture. We went further to hosting the first of its kind, sports competition hosted by our community, elected leadership. That competition saw, almost all of the chapters within our community participating in the competition, which was a really unique thing. There were challenges during the course of the competition, which I was amidst, but at the end of the day, the competition was successful. We went further to also have what we term as an entrepreneurship and empowerment webinar that was also hosted by the Programs and Planning Committee that brought together our community members where we talked about issues involving leadership. We talked about things such as entrepreneurship. And, it was really amazing. And then we went on as a leadership, to building connections with other communities and other diaspora institutions, both across the region and across the globe. And we initiated, conversations with the community in Uganda, build a relationship with the community in Uganda, build a relationship with the community in Kenya and the community in Tanzania. And as a result of that, relationship that we built with them, several of our people who were stranded, several of our community members who went to these countries and were stranded, we were able to, intervene because we had a relationship with these people, and so far during the course of our leadership, even though we did not achieve everything that we planned to achieve, but I can fairly say that we were able to deliver on most of the promises that was made to our people,
Okay.
because we were able to set up a system in a community that had no system. Today, if our community leadership is submitting budget, it's as a result of us implementing that. It was as a result of us putting that into place. Today, if our community leadership is submitting plan of action to the General Assembly and the National Executive Committee, it was as a result of something that we initiated.
Okay, Patrick.
Today, if our all right.
Yeah, so thank you. You elaborated a lot on most of the developments you got carry on when it comes to that. But I want to ask you the question. Doing your after, let's just say, your turnover ceremony, did you presented any documents to the current leadership? I know it's not actually common in politics, more especially for Liberia, where you have your own plan, your tenure, you guys have your plan, you're working towards something, and you guys are not able to achieve all, and whether you guys turn this identical plan over to this current leadership, that look, guys, we're working on this, we said this, and we're able to accomplish this, and we think this identical one that we were unable to accomplish, we think if you guys start the ball rolling with this, we think it's going to help the community. For example, let's take, maybe we say we wanted to register the community to fold it in Rwanda, but we couldn't achieve that. Yeah, we actually want you guys, I mean, yeah.
All right. So during the inauguration of this current leadership, we were able to share with them our final fourth quarter report for our leadership. And as part of the transitional process, and this is something that is well documented in the meetings of the joint transitional team. I stated in one chair for administration work with the vice chair for administration. I encourage every leader of our leadership to share their documents with their counterparts, or with their successor. And this was something that was mostly followed, because there were some of them who shared their documents, and I was copied in that email. Like Mr. Sylvester JJ shared his document with his counterpart, with his successor. Mr. Mango Jura also shared his document with his successor as well. And as well as me, I also share my documents with the chairman of the community. But before sharing those documents, we have a one-on-one interaction with our successors. If I'm not mistaken, I had 3 meetings with the current chairman before he was inaugurated. In those meetings, I share with him everything that the office of the chairman worked on during my time of service, and then I share with him the documents. I remember sharing with him the total of, I think, around 79 folders containing the total of, I think, 598 files. Everything
Very
that
huge
I ever
documents.
did during my term of leadership, I share everything with him. So he has those documents, and I believe that probably the leadership has reviewed some of those documents, and they are acting upon some of them.
Okay. So when it comes to the funders, you can recall how much you were in the covered the current administration.
Well, I wouldn't be so certain now, but if I recall correctly, we had 325,000, I think, with 100 US dollars left in the community covers.
Okay.
Yes, if I recall correctly, that was the sum of money that was left to the current leadership,
Okay.
along with other assets as well.
Thank you so much. So, folks, if you are watching this is Screen Vision, I think you've been listening to the former chairman, Mr. Emmanuel Patrick, try to elaborate on some of those things that they did during the tenure in the here colleagues while they took the community and from at the time and all those things that he did. A lot of things he spoke of. So if you want to form part of the conversation, you can drop your comment in the comment section. We'll give you the time to ask questions to the chairman or the former chairman. I think he's going to respond to you. But I want us to let me just bring JJ. Maybe I will come back. JJ, you listen to Mr. Emmanuel Patrick concerning that we've been talking. So I just want you to come in if you have two questions. Maybe you can come over here and I'm going to come back.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Ballah, and thank you again, Mr. Patrick, for appearing on Screen Vision. So, from the beginning of this conversation, the open up, you said you normally sit at the back and watch things going just as, and also buttress the leadership. But I want us to look at your programs and that of the existing leadership programs and policy. Do you see any alignment or continuation of your program that this leadership is trying to implement or continue? Do you see any alignment in terms of programs?
Well, I would say there are a lot of programs that we initiated that is then continued by this current leadership. Maybe because as part of that, most of these programs that were initiated were, initiated by law. For example, if we look at the All Liberian Festival, the organization of the All Liberian Festival is not optional. When you read the statute of our community, specifically on the area of the programs committee, it listed programs that should be initiated by the programs committee of the community, but not limited to those programs committee. And so when you also go to the sports committee as well, you will see that the sports committee, I think it is self-explanatory what the committee represents. So the fact that we held an all-Nigerian festival, in the community leadership tends to have an all-Nigerian festival, it's good. We had a sports competition. The community is also is having a competition now. It's also good because leadership is continuity. And so when we see these programs going on, it gladdens our heart because these were things that we initiated at the time when our community needed it most. So to see the community, proceeding in the same direction, we commend them for that.
Thank you very much. So, with this affirmation, do you see growth? Is the community growing?
Well, so I want you to be specific
Okay. What
in
I'm trying
terms
to
of.
say is, for the fact that you have acknowledged that the current leadership is continuing some of those initiatives that started during your administration, because sometimes you will see a leadership put away the past leadership initiative and then embark on something that doesn't make sense or embark on their own agenda. So for the fact that you have acknowledged alignment and continuation of those programs, from your point of view, is the community growing?
Well, why it is truth that the leadership is continuing some of the programs, there are also a larger part of our activities, and institutional mechanisms that were put in place that is not being followed by this current leadership as well, which is understandable because every leadership comes to office, with their own plans and their own visions for where they want to see the community. So, in terms of whether the community is growing or not, I want to believe that the community can do better.
Sorry?
We can grow beyond. Have the potential. Are you getting me?
Yes, you can.
So I was saying, I believe that the community has the potential to grow beyond measures. I believe that this community has the potential to be a contributor to national development and not just beneficiaries, of taxpayers' money from our country, which our community for a long time, have been a beneficiary of. So now, while the leadership is doing their best in other regards, I believe that there is a way that we can be able to improve the growth of our community. There is a way that we can ensure that our community is more united than it was yesterday and today. And, there is a way that we can ensure that our community is more progressive, than it was yesterday and today.
Yeah, thank you very much. Because I also understand there is or there are challenges, every leadership and even the community as a whole. I think that's another component I will touch on when I have opportunity to ask question again, because sometimes the challenges also comes from the people that you lead and also come from the leader. So I put all of those into context. But for the fact that we see continuation, maybe it can be a little, impact, little or no impact. I don't know whether you are saying there has been no impact since then in terms of growth, but just just be around it and be straight to the point whether you are seeing a little growth. It might not be as satisfactory as the way it should be. Everything starts from a plane before going up. But at least so far, we are seeing, like you acknowledge, you see coordination in terms of those programs. And it's not because the coordination is there, but it's because it is being mentioned in the statute. But don't forget, you've been in the seat before. All power is inherent in the chairman. So the chairman can even one day wake up in the morning and convince NEC and take another approach to constitution or statute amendment. But for the fact that all of those things are being well respected, and we see continuity in the programs, past policy, and maybe the leadership coming up with new policy, is the community growing? I'm not saying whether the community has grown. Is the community growing?
Well,
Looking
the
at look.
result
I mean,
is
let polish it a little bit. Looking at where you left the community, and now, yes, let's look between there.
We
well,
understand that there are more needs to be done. Of course, there are more needs to be done.
yeah. But when you say growth, what you are saying in particular is that it is better than it was years ago or yesterday. By assuming that something have grown, what you are saying is that it is better than it was yesterday. But like I said, there is a huge potential for our community to grow. Now, all we can do as leaders, current leaders, and past leaders of our community is, to come around the table, put our hands together, and see how we can make our community progressive. I don't want to, come on this platform and tell you the community leadership is doing nothing. That would be hypocritical of me to say that the community leadership is doing nothing. Because even me, I have seen some of the work of the leadership. I have called the chairperson, and I have, congratulated him on some of his engagement. For example, the scholarship, the financial assistance program that was given, the chairman engagement in Liberia, where he met with officials of our government. I called him. We had a conversation for I think more than 60 minutes, where I expressed, congratulations to him, and I also provided him some recommendations on how things will be improved, and, for service delivery in our community. So, like I said, the community will always be growing. It will always be growing. As long as year goes by and day pass, we will always grow as human beings. Even us, as we speak now, we are older than we were yesterday. And, so there is always that potential for growth, and I believe that our community could be even more progressive than it has ever been.
Okay, okay. Thank you. I think JJ going to come back with another questions. So far you have seen looking at where you left the community. According to you, the community is growing. It will actually continue to grow. So from your own end, because like Sylvester put it, there are a lot of challenges. What are some of those things that you think the community need to improve on in order for the community to even grow more than our current status now? What are some of those things you think the community need to improve on? Improve on.
Well, I think the first thing that could be done to ensure that our community is even more progressive than it has ever been is, to put away our personal feelings and interests out of, the community's leadership. In politics and in leadership, we will always have disagreement. And I say this without any fear and favor, right? The current chairman and I, we do not have the same view on leadership, which is understandable. We don't have to have the same belief in terms of leadership. The former chairman J. McMillan, and I, we did not have the same views on leadership, but we sat on the same table. We discussed issues involving the community. On many occasions, they and I, even though I disagree fundamentally with most of the issues that he raised, but I had conversations with him. They and I used to talk for over an hour discussing issues involving the community. Some of them I would disagree with his view in that regard. But at the end of the day, we must be willing to listen to different perspectives on issues. We must be willing to listen to different viewpoints. The first thing is, let us look at how our country is structured. Our country is structured into 15 counties and 16 unique tribal groups. That alone tells us that we have diversity in terms of our culture. There is diversity in terms of our views and our opinions, and we must be willing to accept those diversity. We must be willing to accept criticism when criticism is given in good faith. Another way I believe our community leadership can progress is, I encourage the current leadership. When people criticize you, it does not mean that they hate you. It means that they hate your stance on a leadership position. It's just as simple as that. We are not here to be hating people. We are all here doing different, degree programs. We have different career paths. Even if you and I, we are studying law together, it doesn't mean that you and I will be defense attorneys. No. You might be a prosecutor, I might be a defense attorney. This clearly means that we all have a different career path, we have a different path in life. And therefore, we will have different understanding about how things work.
Yeah, so that is understood. So what can we do now?
Is to be tolerant. What we can do here is this. It has been 9 months. On May 24th, we make it 9 months since the current leadership took over. This is a recommendation I made, to the chairman before, Chairman Daniel, that he convene a stakeholders meeting, bringing everybody across the table, so that we have some conversations, honest conversations. We are human beings. We are frail and we are feeble. We are weak. We have our own problems as human beings. People will have issues with me. I will have issues with people. But when we come around the table as leaders, as community leaders, we have honest conversations. We express our grievances and dissatisfaction in a manner and form that is respectful, that shows community unity, and we progress with our community. But I don't know if the leadership has that intention, because it has been 9 months since they took over, and that has not been done. But what I can say is that I think I spoke with you a few days, ago, that I intend to reach out to everyone in the community, past leaders, current leaders, so that we come across the table. We have convened what I would term as the stakeholders, reconciliatory stakeholder engagement meeting. We will invite past NEC members, invite current NEC members, religious groups in our community. We will also invite media institutions such as, the Stream Vision as well. And we will sit on the table and have some conversation. We have all, let me be clear with this, we have all contributed one way or the other to the disunity of our community. We have all contributed one way or the other to the way our community is, the level our community is at now. And we must all now be a part of that solution.
Okay.
We can't say the thing about reconciliation, and painfully, that realization was made recently, that reconciliation does not have to be one group of people.
Okay.
Even though some of us hold the view that it is the community leadership, we all have a role to play. If the community leadership cannot bring us together now, somebody have to do that. And as a former leader of this community, I will be convening that meeting, and I will be extending an invitation to the current leadership so that we all come across the table.
Okay. Thank you. Going to have that kind of or call or send a communication to various stakeholders within the community. Call everyone together to have that kind of a conversation. So, Sylvester, you can come in with another question, which is very good. You can come in with another 2 or 3 questions.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Ballah. And what Mr. Patrick just mentioned is something that even at national level, as a nation, we are still struggling with that. From the day of independence to the first Second Republic, we are still struggling with. You will see some level of disunity at certain point, but I don't know whether with the disunity that he has flagged, why the truth it is within the community, that's no doubt. But whether it has reached the point of stopping progress at certain level. But we are hoping to see whether we can have that kind of talk. And honestly, we need to be together to make progress in all aspects of the community development. Maybe the community may be developing the other side, but weak on the other side in terms of programs or leadership whatsoever. Those are things that we need to look at. But Mr. Patrick, I would like for us to touch the politics a little bit. I don't know whether you are comfortable with that.
Yeah.
So, like you regularly mentioned, it has been like roughly 9 months since this new leadership came into office. Exception of those responsibilities and roles mentioned in the statutes for the office of chairman, do you still believe that the chairman should have absolute power in terms of
I think,
there's no, excuse me, there's no caveat, and mentioned specifically for the chairman in terms exception of generalization on all communities breaching rules or laws and orders. But okay, let me just frame it this way. As a past chairman, do you still see any gaps in the current statutes that this current leadership is operating on with respect to chairmanship?
well, there will always be gaps in laws, and that is why when you study law, in most countries you have what you call the constitutional review, commission and stuff like that, to consistently look at the laws of the country and to ensure that those laws conform with the current landscape. Like Rwanda, like Liberia, and like any other institution across the globe, LIBCOR statute is not fully sufficient because as the day goes by, the situation in our community change, and as the situations change, the laws. So yes, there are gaps within our statute, and I believe that those gaps can be worked on. When you read the statute of our community, it says that any registered member of our community has the right to propose an amendment to any provision of the statute of our community. So even you, as a former leader of the community and as a registered member, you have that right to recommend to community, amendments. If you see that certain provisions in the statute of our community does not conform with the reality of the day. But when you spoke about whether or not the chairman have absolute power, I want to disagree with that. The chairman does not have absolute power. And evidence of that, under Article 28.1 of our statute that provides for the responsibility of the chairperson. It did not give the chairperson an absolute power. It positioned the chairperson as the primary representative of our community. When you read the statute of the community, and that is why even when it comes to financial, because if you say the chairman has absolute power, when we discuss financial management in the community, it says the financial secretary should, some requisition and the chairman must approve the requisition. It means the chairman does not have an absolute power. When
Okay.
you go to appointments of committee, under Article 29 of our statute and Article 33, it says that the chairman shall appoint standing committee, and those standing committees shall be confirmed and approved by the National Executive Committee. So it clearly tells you that the chairman does not have absolute power. And when you even look at the structure of our community leadership, you will see that the General Assembly is the highest decision-making body. Next to the General Assembly is the National Executive Committee. Next to the National Executive Committee, it is the National Administrative Council. So the chairman does not have an
So
absolute power.
Okay.
you know, let me just come with follow up before I ask a second question. This is something that I've been struggling with, and even in this current leadership, and I still see these pitfall. When I speak specifically to absolute power, all meetings are being conveyed by the chairman. If the chairman does not give the authority to his co-officer, that meeting will not be convened. I don't know whether but you will have time to respond, to agree or not. So, and meeting must be conveyed and decision must be taken. So if maybe the chairman is in a hot water, or maybe the chairman supposed to execute an action, but he himself has been reluctant of doing so. And where decision must be taken, that everyone leaves with the view that decision has been taken and it goes to implementation, the chairman has the power to convey. So in that way, that's why I was saying, do you believe that still the chairman should still hold absolute power? Another thing I want to point out too, then maybe I can get your response as a follow up to the same conversation. In terms of reporting, the statutes make it very clear for those co-officers from VCA downward to the least committee members. But there's no time bound on when the chairman should compile or report and give to the how do you call it, to the community based on quarterly basis. So the secretary shall report on a quarterly basis. This person shall report on a quarterly basis. Another person shall report on a quarterly basis. But assume that all of those report on the desk of the chairman. Maybe the chairman, despite he's not being paid by this community and he has other competing priorities. There is no caveat or limitation in the statutes that mandate the chairman to report just as it has been imposed on court officers. And we can see, I don't know whether you are observing this community, we can see there has been like certain period of time now we have not gotten a quarter report. And I think all of these things are being encouraged based on what we saw in the past. So that's why I'm still asking, do you still believe the chairman should have absolute power? And whether you have seen the gaps, and you mentioned there will always be a gaps in laws when time change in society, environment, everything. So you being as a past chairman, what can you propose if you think there is a gap? What can you point to specifically with regards to the chairmanship as a gaps in terms of reporting mechanism and whatsoever, and who's to convey meeting, and then what can you recommend before I ask the second question? Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Sylvester JJ. The statute is clear in terms of reporting in our community. Under Article 39.4 of the statute of our community, it provides that a report, shall be provided, to the National Executive Committee. In accordance with, let me read verbatim, in accordance with the timeline of budget implementation. I'm coming just a minute, please. The NAC, Article 39.7. The NAC shall prepare and present quarterly reports within 7 working days after each quarter, an annual report 14 days after the fiscal year. These reports shall comprise a budget performance report, including details of all income, expenditures, and the current financial position of the community, as well as the leadership progress and performance. So when you read the statute, there are provisions there for report. If those provisions are not being followed, then maybe it's is the leadership's decision not to follow those provisions. The next issue you raised in terms of meetings. Meetings is not just being convened anytime the chairperson wants to have a meeting. When you read the statute of the community under Article 25 of our statute, it provides that the NEC shall convene at least once a month, and they may hold additional meetings as it is deemed necessary. And special meetings can also be called by the chairperson or upon request by the majority of the NEC members. And then when you go to NAC, when you go to the NAC meetings, I'm coming just one minute. Now the NAC, the chairperson is the head of the chairperson is the head of the NAC. And the chairperson being the primary focal person of the NAC, the ability to convene NAC meeting at any time they deem necessary. But I believe that this could be changed. I believe that there must be a set time frame in which the NAC should meet. But I believe in the wisdom of the crafter of our statute, and the thought that since the NEC is the highest decision-making body over the NAC, the NEC should have a specific meeting time, which meeting as may be deemed necessary.
Okay, thank you. So, folks, if you are watching,
Let me ask my
there's a
second question
question. I come in,
with regards to the politics aspect.
before you come in. Yeah, before you come in, JJ, let me just inform our followers. The reason you're getting some echo in the back, like I said, we've been having some technical or problem that our technician been working hard to solve this problem, but it's been difficult for us, and we actually not wanted to postpone this show. We just came on quite recently, so we know we not to postpone the show. So that's why we just try to, find means by all costs, and looking at the chairman already positioned, waiting to talk to the people. So we not wanted to leave it like that. Sorry, the former chairman, so that's why you getting the feedback. We hope that you're going to our technician going to set all these things out next Sunday. I don't think you're going to get such a feedback. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. Thank you again. So with regards to the community politics, we can commonly say that after election there's leadership. All politics should be played at elections. After elections now, everyone should put aside their political regalia and lead. But that is not practical in in real life, because after election there will still be oppositions. That's why election exists. If there was no opposition, there wouldn't have been elections. But to speak of the past, we saw that in 2024, is it 2024, 2025? If I'm, yeah, 2025 elections, you as a chairman of the committee, you took a side, and it is not in secret. You took a side, and which of course that's your right to do so. And I would like to hear from you. If Jura were to contest the next elections, do you still believe that he's your preferred candidate? He's the preferred candidate for this community.
Yeah, the answer to that question is quite simple. I can tell you with no doubt that Jura, as per his workings under my leadership, have demonstrated exceptional excellence. And I believe that, he's very much capable of leading this community, and ensuring that our community is progressive. The decision that was taken to support Jura, like you rightly said, which was my right, was a conscious decision, not based on friendship. It was a decision that was based on his competence, and his willingness to lead the community in times, even where his personal character and reputation was at stake.
Okay, so I think the question, the answer is clear, right? JJ, you got any follow up or?
Yeah, I got a follow up. Thank you very much. So, as it stands now, do you see yourself as an opposition?
I wouldn't say I see myself as an opposition because I did not participate in the elections. The
No,
first
but
thing here is I was
you supported a candidate, and yeah, I'm coming. I'll give you time, please. You supported a candidate, and despite the candidate did not win the election, and you still prefer him as your candidate to lead this community. And of course, when now we are discussing politics, put that leadership, lyrics aside. Let us be blunt, you know, and we still see him in a vineyard, trying to hold the government feet to the fire, the administration feet to the fire. And normally, people that do that, they are eyeing the chairmanship, trying to maybe make the leadership operation irrelevant to the electorates, so that as next election they can have a point to secure such seat. And some of the criticism can be constructive, which of course I must acknowledge, and some of it can be based on as the usual politics. So for the fact that you support such candidate and he has been into dual capacity, making parallel constructive criticism and as well as those political want to make the administration irrelevant, and the government or the administration sees him as an opposition, and you as a supporter to Mr. Mongo, do you see yourself as an opposition?
no, I do not see myself as an opposition. Like I said when I was answering the question of whether or not I was support Jura, Jura has the capacity to lead this community. He is a registered member of the community like every one of us. He has served the community in the capacity as Secretary General. And as I said, my decision to support him was a conscious decision that was based on his workings in my leadership. So the thing here is this. So if, for example, I supported Jura. Right? Now elections is over, as you rightly said, politics is over, elections, politics happen during elections. And if you are claiming that politics do happen during elections, don't you think that it is also reasonable to articulate that opposition remain during the electoral process, and after the elections, we all are members of the community, and as such, we must be seen, as members of the community, and we must be treated with decency and respect that members of the community deserve.
Is that are you asking your question for him to respond or you?
No, it's rhetorical. It's
Okay.
rhetorical. So what I'm trying to say in short is that politics is over. I did not personally contest these elections. I was not stopped by the statute of our community from contesting. It was an intentional and willful decision for me to withdraw from the process. For me to allow other people to contest in the process. So the fact that I am being seen as an opposition to the community leadership is kind of funny. Why we are arguing that politics only happen during elections, and we are arguing that as a candidate and Jura as a member of the community has his rights. To question the way he sees the leadership individual. It is his right. Supporting Jura does not necessarily mean that every stance that he takes, it means that I agree with that stance. Like even you on this conversation, people even consider you the spokesperson of the regime. So, should we say that you agree with everything that the leadership does? So, I think now we must put the politics aside, come together as a community, and we see how we progress the community. That is what matters right now.
Okay.
So these petty politics are not giving us anything.
Okay. Thank you. So, folks, if you just joining us, this is a Screen Vision, and we are coming to you live from the beautiful city of Kigali. I mean, Rwanda capital, Kigali. So, whether we are watching from, we want to say good morning, good evening. We are in conversation with Mr. Emmanuel Patrick, former chairperson of the Liberian Community in Rwanda. Yeah, he's been following the having a meeting, bringing both parts and present some stakeholders within the community, together to discuss some issue. But first, I want to understand, and I actually want you to give your honest opinion on this or your honest answer on this, because this is information that discussion that been in the public. What is the current relationship with you and the current chairman? What is the relationship when it comes to working? When it comes to what is the relationship? How is it like? Are you getting me, Patrick? Uh, uh, so, folks, we have an issue here. So sorry, we have been having. I come in, Patrick. Let me try to settle the issue. I don't know whether you. Let me try to settle. I don't know, because we started the show with asking JJ a question concerning the men of God who were asking. I don't know how God veiled us. I don't know, but folks.
Yeah? What did you say?
I said I don't know. We having the kind of a problem because from the initial stage of the conversation, I asked you a question concerning the made of God. I don't know whether God is coming back at us.
I
You
told you to
know.
this one, don't pour on the man of God.
Yeah. But folks, I want to say thanks for always watching, and please share our show. We can I'll see you next time. We won't have the kind of a issue because our team working, and we can assure you that. Let me try to. Okay, I think we're trying to reconnect with Emeritus Patrick. Though you on the call, but we have been having some issues, so let's try to reconnect with him. I was asking JJ, are you there? I was asking Patrick concerning. I was asking Patrick. He said a lot of things concerning development, what he did from the beginning. And Patrick, I'm calling you. Please answer the call. Oh my God, sorry. I think I did that at yeah. So folks, sorry. I was asking you, Mr. Emmanuel Patrick. I see you elaborated a lot when it comes to your own development, and you also look at the current development that is ongoing by this leadership, and you want to try to put put people together, bringing both past and current leadership, together, leaders, and then even those stakeholders within the community. I want to know your current relationship, because in order for you to, to succeed, to though it's not 100%, I mean not be right, for you to succeed in the direction, you also need the backing of the leadership, the current leadership as well. So why is the current relationship with you and the chairman? And I actually want you to be very honest in this discussion, because there are a lot of people, there are a lot of conversation being in the back concerning the relationship about you and the chairman. Do you guys have a kind of a cordial relationship?
Well, what I would say to this is that the chairman and I have had somewhat, you know, a kind of complicated relationship,
Okay.
so to speak. Yes. At some point in time, we have conversations. I remember the beginning of this year, the end of the year, I placed a call to him. We have some conversations. The beginning of the year, I also placed a call to him again. We had some conversations as well. Even on this issue of Felicia, I reached out to him at the end of the year for us to find a resolution to the issue of Felicia. And it was on that basis that I voluntarily decided that, we'll withdraw so that the chairperson can be able to appoint his people to the committee. And those things were done to promote a smooth working relationship, for the progress of our community. So the other aspect of our relationship has been mostly, kind of rocky. I think recently I share a communication in the General Assembly chat room, the community chat room, where I informed the community that I had officially communicated a cease and desist notice to the chairperson. The reason for that cease and desist notice is because the chairman have taken it upon himself over the period of time, which I have documented to a substantive degree. He's taken upon himself to subject my reputation to public denigration and disrepute. He has also taken upon himself to subject me to humiliation in public spaces by rendering a barrage of invectives and insultive languages against my person in public gatherings. I feel this is totally wrong. We can disagree while being civil in our disagreement. We can disagree on points of views and leadership, and we still show decency and respect to each other. But I will not have, the chairman, every time he sees me in a public space, he uses insults towards me, to subject me to public embarrassment and humiliation. This is something I will not have, and as such, I have shared with him a cease and desist notice, and I have told him in that cease and because the cease and desist notice that I share, I also share with the National Executive Committee as well. This was not a notice where I just highlighted one point. This was a notice in which I highlighted 4 different instances, and those were just the ones that I highlighted. 4 instances, including the date, the location, and even people who were present when that situation happened. The most recent of all was in Yanza when I attended the anniversary of Yanza. We exchanged a brief greeting. When the chairman saw me, July and I was headed to the program. And the first thing we did was, hello, how are you? Because normally when I see a person, that's what I do. Hello, how are you? And when I extended that greeting to the chairman, he decided to, extend his hand for a handshake, which at the time, and I decided for us to use a face bump. And as young people, face bump has been used as a form of greetings. When I declined the handshake, the chairman became very enraged, and he started to use invectives against my person. In a gathering that had more than 30 persons, the chairman was shouting how I am a stupid fool. It has not said well. And this was a program in which he had gone to represent our community as the chairperson of our community. So this does not just bring me to public embarrassment and humiliation, but it subjects the very community leadership and the community in its entirety to public denigration and disrepute.
So
We are willing to look past these issues.
Yeah, I understand.
So,
We I want us we don't have much time now. We'll soon leave this place. But what could be the cause of this thing? What you think is the cause? Because he was his boss at the time, and then he served. He was the second person in command. And now I know, like you said, I think similar thing happened between our leaders back home. I know you are Mr. Patrick. You usually shake hands. So why now you decided to boss, let's say, boss the chairman? Why you couldn't shake a hand? We know normally in our community, you saw normal greetings. We usually shake hands, except officially, usually shake hands, maybe hug and thing. But now you saw him, you decided to. Why he already stretched a hand to you to shake, and then you decided to boss. It would make anybody shame. Don't you think it was one of the reasons? Though the way, according to you, he approached it, for me, I don't think it was okay. But what do you think it was okay? Like your comrade or your former working person tried to shake your hand as a boss man now, because though he's seated now, but I think you stay a boss. Once a boss, always a boss. So he tried to shake your hand, and then he said, "No, man, you put your hand like your greetings. Why? Why you didn't shake your hands out loud?"
The reality is that I have my own reasons, for declining handshakes on that specific day.
Okay.
And it is my right to decide to shake a person's hand.
Okay, it's understood. So now let's come back.
Let me give a typical example.
Hmm.
On the 24th of August of 2025, your panelists you have on the show, Mr. Sylvester Blessing JJ, at the inauguration ceremony, declined to shake my hand when I was his boss.
Okay.
I became enraged and decided to insult him because he refused to shake my hand. We must understand that people have the right to decide what to do.
Okay, it's clear.
At the time, declined.
It's clear.
Shake my hand. That was not a problem.
It's clear. So now let's come back to the question now. What you think could be the cause? Because you and the guy have been working together. Although you did not support him during the process, the election, and but for he to go to that extent, like what you just stated, insulting you in public, what could be the cause? Do you guys have anything personal, apart from the community activities? What is the cause?
Well, the current chairman has not brought it to my attention that he has a personal issue with me. If he does, I am not aware of that. But I can tell you for a fact that the action of the current chairperson towards me is not something that just began when he took office. Even Mr. Sylvester Blessing JJ on this very call is a witness to the very attitude we are discussing. The NAC meeting minutes are all evidences of the very actions we are speaking of today. And in February, I think in March 27 of 2025, I issued to the current chairperson a formal notice warning him to desist from that kind of action, of using invectives towards me when I was still chairperson.
So, but Patrick, let's come back. Like I said, we don't. What do you think the cause? Is there any issue? What do you think the cause from your own end? What have you observed? Though, according to you, you say you did not come up openly to actually explain. But from your own observation, you are a young man. Why is the cause? You see in the man. What have you observed that this didn't come because at the end of the day we all are young people and we have to go back to the country to deliver. So you guys cannot come in as you work together before and then we see the both of you going, let's say, head to scattered. When I say that, how can a man sees you, maybe according to you haven't done anything to him, and then you just refuse to even, okay, you refuse to shake his hand and then start to insult. It's not force like you put it. I could just say hi, or even you have your right to just leave. But people might say, but why? Emmanuel Patrick behave like this because this man serving and we are young people. How you see your comrade and just leave? But he tried to shake and then you decline. But what have you observed from your own, you know, understanding? And what have you observed could be the cause?
All right. So I have answered the question. I told you if there is a personal issue on the chairman house, I have not been made aware of those issues. Secondly, I would like to assume that probably because I did not support the chairperson in the elections, and that is why he's behaving in this way. But even if this assumption is then made, it wouldn't be enough to satisfy the actions of the chairman, considering the fact that this action began as far back as February
Okay.
2025,
Okay.
when you are still not even a chairperson.
Okay. Thank you. Sylvester, you got any question?
Yeah, Mr. Ballah, thank you very much. I don't know whether we are trying to conclude.
Yeah,
The,
you can just ask your question. We don't really have time now. You can have two
so
questions for each other.
I wonder us to, as a way of making progress, I wonder us to touch the general challenges and forward-looking opportunities for the community development and as well. So, like I said initially, the challenges are there. Challenges may be from the people that this leadership leads, and also challenges may be from the leadership itself. As a guest and former chairman of the community, as you told us that you've been sitting at the back and been watching things, can you just point out a few challenges that you see from that you have observed so far from the constituents, and as well as challenges that you see that the leadership itself has been faced with within, and maybe we can look at other opportunities that could be as a solution to addressing some of those. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Sylvester. That was a brilliant question. So there are several challenges I believe that the community face. And so let me just give a few of them for the sake of time, and then I'll provide
Yeah.
some recommendations, as I've always done. So one of the challenges I feel this community leadership currently have is the challenge of communication. And this is something I have called the chairperson. I have provided to him as a recommendation on how that issue can be resolved. And this was what I told him, and I'm going to say this again on this public forum. When I reached out to him, I told him that the community website is not being properly used for the dissemination of information. The social media handles of the community as well is not being properly used for communication of information. Why it is true that there has been some publication done on the social media account, but most of the engagement, like the chairman came and he said he had a lot of engagement in Liberia. But we were not made aware of those engagements that was held by the chairman in Liberia. And the only way we are aware about what is going on in the community is if the informations are communicated to the public. Another issue is in terms of internal communication to the leadership. I have noticed that most of the communication going to the leadership are circulating across the place. I think I saw on one of the NPC members' platform the last time on his WhatsApp platform a personal conversation between he and the chairman, where email that was sent from me directly to Folesia leadership, and I copied only the chairman in that email. I saw the chairman share that communication with another individual in their WhatsApp conversation. I think communications surrounding community issues, must be dealt with in a manner and form, so that we don't have our information circulating all across the place.
Okay.
Another thing is when it comes to acknowledging communication. On March 24th, I share a communication with the leadership where I copied Mr. JJ in our communication, requesting for an audit of our leadership. When I share that communication, today, up to today, the community leadership has not even acknowledged receipt of that communication. So it becomes an issue if people send communication, even if you do not agree with the content of the communication, professionally you have an obligation to acknowledge receipt of that communication. And then if you choose now not to respond later, it's okay. But
Thank you.
That yes, you have received the communication.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, please. Can he touch the challenge with the constituents itself as well? Because he
We
mentioned
don't really
yes,
have
but
time. So
to
Patrick,
make
please
it
summarize
balanced,
the question.
maybe we
Yes.
can leave the solution hanging, but to make it balanced, at least let the challenges from both sides be. Yeah, proceed.
What we have seen, the challenges with the constituents in our community is that, the current leadership, I must understand that when people do not support you in an electoral process, it does not mean that they hate you. And when people also criticize you, it does not mean that they hate you. Criticism help people to build, so that they become better. And so, one of the things that have created a problem between the leadership, where there is not much of an engagement with community initiatives and activities, is because, when people raise legitimate concerns, those concerns are met with hate. As soon as you say, the leadership is proceeding in this manner and form, you are termed by the community leadership as an enemy to the community. Evidence of that was a publication that was done by the chairman some weeks, I think, or months ago.
Mr. Patrick, excuse me, please. Just I beg you, we don't have time. You're still mentioning challenges of the leadership, but we have. I don't know whether you are explaining for the side of the people themselves, but we want to know. Now we acknowledge the leadership has a challenge of communication, confidentiality, and what of you, and the politics still in ahead as a challenge to their leadership. But we want to know from what you have observed. Have you seen challenges with the constituent themselves that also impedes the operation of the leadership?
I was about to go to that. When you ask a question, we have to lay the basis before we start to answer the question.
Yeah, but we don't have much time.
There are a
So
lot of challenges the community members themselves face. People face challenges in terms of handling their dispute. I don't know what has been working with the current leadership, with the authorities, but most times now when you go to the police station, our people are going to the police station more instead of coming to the community leadership with those disputes. Another issue is the issue of visa. Most of our people here have been arrested for fraudulent, application of visas. Those are issues that the constituents themselves face. Another issue is, I just want to touch this specifically. There is a guy currently who was, held in, I think, in Uganda a few days ago. And this situation it created, emotional distress for this young man. So one of the things that is happening, with our constituents, knowing fully well that they travel across the region, and knowing fully well that our leadership has detached themselves from leaders of the regions, it becomes difficult for them to reach out to those leaders, for them to intervene in the crisis of our people. And so those are challenges I have observed that are happening with members of our community, and I believe that the leadership can be able to work on.
Okay. So, folks, I want to say thanks for joining us. You've been listening to the conversation between Mr. Emmanuel Patrick and us discussing some important issues. Mr. Patrick said he and the chairman, he sometimes call the chairman, but later he said they don't have that kind of a discussion because sometimes the chairman sees in public insulting is not on it's on several occasions. It's not one, it's not two. So I don't know at which point you guys can communicate when it comes to call, or if you call the chairman, he can respond. Then when he see you in public, is it or the call, the communication you are talking about, it been before he started raising the kind of insult once he see you in public? Because he said you usually call him sometime, you call him and then you mention more than so. How can you reconcile the two? You usually call him, then you talk, you get some advices, recommendations. But now you guys are not really talking again on the other hand, because when he sees you in public, he insult you. You even wanted to shake your hand. You said no, but it's somebody who you say y'all can talk. So let's look at it too.
But the reality is that people are not hungry every day of their lives.
Mr. Ballah, Mr. Patrick, I thank you.
Patrick.
Mr. Ballah, Mr. Ballah, I understand. The people that get good issues, that the people that get good, that they don't even call,
No,
can
it's not about good issue. These
eh?
are things that are in the Liberian community and it
Leave
causing
the
problem
two.
for
They
us.
know how to
Because
handle that.
he said,
These are politicians, so
we
it will
politician
be
business.
it
These
will
are
be
things that
rough
spoiling
at
our country. These are things that spoiling the country. JJ, he say
for
politician.
you
So
as
it's
a
two
talk
different
show
things.
host and you as a journalist with the question now that as you think it can immediately reconcile the issue.
We know I just want to hear his side because the comrade said he can make call. So I wanted to know whether you call him before these activities started happening, and you said it been happening before he could even serve as chairman. So then how can you not call a person you will talk fine, then when you see each other in the public, you talk behind the us. I thought that in the public you're supposed to pretend and then behind, your talk. But you pretend behind
Now,
and then before the
Bala,
public,
let me make this clear, right?
that's what I want.
Some of us we don't fake our lives. I will not have a fundamental issue with you. I come in a public space and I make everybody feel like everything is okay. It is deceitful and it is wrong of us as young people.
And so that's why he didn't shake a hand
The
there.
reason, let me come in and allow me, you ask a
Yeah,
question.
go ahead.
The reason you see today in our country a lot of young people are poisoning their colleagues and killing each other in our country is because we are not courageous enough to look people in the faces and tell them, say, you have wronged me, and what you have done to me, I have an issue with it. People pretend, they deceive people, make them to believe that they have forgotten everything that has happened, and in the end, they go and poison their colleagues. I will never allow myself to be consumed by deceit.
Okay.
And so when I have a problem with the chairperson, I will not go in the public space and pretend like I don't have a problem with the chairperson. And it is wrong, and this is not something we should be involved in.
Okay. So it means that you
When it
guys
comes
have
to the
yeah, it means that you guys have problem, Patrick. Thank you. It means that you guys have problem. You usually according to you can place a call, but sometimes if you're
but
going to
I
public.
take up the issue. I don't know
Yeah,
why
yeah.
you
No, I understand.
is it that you
It's
want to say
clear.
something
No, I'm not going to get
because
anything
I
different.
told you my issue with the
I
chairperson.
know. So that's why I'm saying, when you said that, and later you said you can communicate. Even the public will do the judgment. So we want to say thank you so much for joining. Is there anything you left out? Maybe you can just summarize, and then we want to call it a day. Thank you so much for.
Yeah, sure. And let me say this, right? As part of why I live my life in this form and manner, why I don't deceive myself and deceive people is simple. In 2020, I had an unfortunate circumstances when I was in Liberia. I had a friend of mine whom I consider a brother had an issue with me. He never for once raised that issue with me. And as a result of that, I was poisoned in 2020 and I almost died from that.
Okay.
And so I will never allow myself now to deceive people when I have an issue with the chairman. Cannot insult me in a public space, and then when I see him on another occasion, I pretend like everything is okay. When I go within my heart, it is not okay. So the issue here is, let's put that issue to rest. Like I said from the inception, we are willing to come to the table to bring people across the table so that we have some conversations as leaders of our community and as young people.
Mm-hmm.
And we see how we can be able to progress this community. Fighting me will not improve your life. Me fighting you will not improve my life as well. We have different parties. Like you and I can study in this country. You can get PhD. We have PhD. You go over there. You may have job. I don't have job. I may get job. You don't have job. So we walk different paths in this life. All we can do as young people is to complement each other. Where we see that this person is weak, we try to assist them to be better in that area. And where we see they are going wrong, we must be willing to look people in the face and tell them, say, hey, look, this is wrong. This is wrong. It doesn't mean that you hate the person. It means that you are a human being and that you love them enough for you to look at them and tell them, say, this is wrong. And that is the kind of character we as young people should put on. Because when we go back to Liberia, that we cannot be claiming we want to go back home and we want to make change. And here we are not even able to unite less than 5,000 people. We are not even able to work together as a group of people here to improve service delivery in our community and representation of our people in our community. But yet we argue that when we go back to Liberia, we will be progressive. Our common people, our old people says that you can't eat beans and you poo potato green. The things that we are practicing here now, and this is evidence with our educational system in Liberia. That we saw what happened at the AFL recently. They feel they're doing a recruitment process. That was just an evidence of what the educational system looks like, where people cannot pronounce words at top. It tells you how messed up our system is. And these people, that is not an isolated case.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Patrick.
It is part of a larger problem, and we must address that problem at its core. That is the only way our country can be progressive. Thank you so much. Thank you for the opportunity. It has been amazing having this conversation with you. And I look forward to seeing every one of you on that meeting. And when the meeting is called for. Thank you so much.
How will we attend a meeting, but it means that the chairman will attend. We just see each other in public. You can shake your head, you can shake the man, but you can talk. It makes you insult you in public. But now you're going to send communication. That's why I said I'm asking you. Because you just stated it's clear.
Not
You said
overall also within many
to
relationships.
solve this problem. There is no problem. The problem cannot be solved without the bottom. What caused the problem? You have to know. Though we cannot know on the show. But I just hope that you guys settle your differences. Like you probably will have to work together as a young people. So thank you so much, Patrick, and we hope to have you another time. We actually appreciate you always taking our call once we call you to talk some issue like this. So we for us, we open to that communication. Once you send it, we're going to acknowledge it, and trust me, I'm going to be there. Thank you so much.
Sorry, I got one quick question. Mr. Patrick, is it your first time appearing on Screen Vision as even when you're serving the capacity as chairman or even as former chairman? Is it your first time? Is this your first appearance on Screen Vision?
I appear on Screen Vision, I think, on the 1st of September of 2024.
2021? No, I'm talking about in the capacity as chairman and former chairman.
Yes, so see, 2024 on September 1st, I appear on Screen Vision.
Oh, okay, that's good.
Yeah. So thank you, man. Thank you, Patrick. We appreciate your time, and you can go and relax yourself now as a former chairman. Enjoy your space. You got nobody calling you. Yeah, former chairman. Yeah, man. Thank you. We appreciate that part. We have a lot of rock and roll, but you still, try to help in the process. We really appreciate. And Sylvester, we're about to go. What's your closing?
Yeah, like the show itself carries the caption. This was an unfiltered conversation. Despite there has been some conflicting narratives that you want to dwell on to override the success of this show, but I think the show was interesting enough, and we were able to rule out because you see the essence of having media outlets in this community is sometimes maybe we do not have the opportunity, or some of us may not be close to power, to take telephone, call the chairman and say, my man, this is what you're doing wrong. But at least one way or the other, some of his officials may follow the show after a year and get some of those challenges as well directly from the former chairman, Emmanuel Patrick, and maybe they could go in that meeting and discuss some of these things with, especially with regards to challenges. And also want to appreciate Mr. Patrick for showing up for Screen Vision in his capacity as former chairman. And of course, I have leave office already. I have left office already, and I'm a common and ordinary citizen. So that's why I don't parade with the title former chairman and everything. Whenever I appear on screen talk, please treat me as a panelist and not as maybe former co-worker. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much.
Former financial
You
secretary.
go, you come down, you stay former financial secretary. You work.
No, it's a title that is a position that even Mr. Patrick himself knew that I entered to serve not for the title. So I've left the position already. So sorry?
We all enter a position after the title, but the title came with the job.
Patrick,
Yeah,
you're right.
but
Go see, my man. Go and get a chairman hat
So
on.
how
Chairman, go
come you
rest,
stay
yeah.
in LIBCOR? You were financial secretary.
So you want us to do what? You
no.
still financial secretary. You go, you former financial secretary, my young man. You are former financial secretary,
Yeah, I'm a
clear.
panelist. If you want to treat me as a former leader, then you better
No,
announce
for now, but
my
you saw me
association.
bringing you in a conversation. I didn't bring in a conversation with Patrick. You saw my conversation. I didn't call you as a financial secretary on this platform. You are panelist here. You're not on this
But
platform. You're not financial secretary for the record.
I was just telling the guests that whenever we appears on this platform, let him treat me as a panelist and not as a former, former co-worker, and
It's good,
especially in
but it's good. He will always, but you always mention such. You guys work together, so it's just difficult to exclude that. But anyway, I hope that he will maybe if we call him next time, he going to hear to what you said. But come, I want to say thank you, man. And this coming Sunday, we're going to host somebody from the tech space of very young Liberians who trying to bring an innovation in ICT. Yeah. So, but we discuss that more maybe after the
But
show
can we
too.
take 5 minutes at least to, or 2 minutes at most to analyze the show at least one from
Yeah,
you
yeah.
and
You
me?
can go ahead. What? So yeah, you follow the
No,
conversation.
especially these things that we cover, we discuss his past life or past leadership styles and appreciation of the continuation of these programs. And it's something that I see that the former chairman struggled to just answer this question simple. What because if you acknowledge that this leadership has not in any way deviated from the mandated programs that are in the statutes and also coincide with the new initiative that the leadership brought financial aid, and he acknowledged that these things are in tight. He acknowledged that there is progress, but
Yeah, sure.
something that he struggled to tell our viewers and we as a panelist whether the community is growing. And he tried to beat around. We expect the community to be better than this. I mean, everyone expected the community to be better than V time. That we could have left the community with registration and everything, but all of these paid for were in the in on our list as maybe unachieved programs. So this is something that he struggled with. And another thing is with regards to the politics. This is something that we all know. Once you carry out an election, there will still be bitterness. Irrespective of the person say, I support the leadership, we all know those things are rhetorics. Once you did not meet your target, you will always be in the background trying to counter react to make the leadership irrelevant because who
Okay.
knows? Next
Thank you.
election 2027, one of them may throw the bait for the chairmanship. Thank you very much, Mr. Ballah.
Yeah, thank you, man. Let me say thanks to the public. We're going to have the kind of a discussion. And Comrade, thank you so much. You can have yourself a very good night. Go and sleep. You got a job tomorrow. Thank you.
Man, I get job tomorrow. I'm picking you. What's up
Well, I
with
said
you?
job, you got your own job, my man. Apart from my man, you got other
No,
things to
see,
do.
yeah,
You're
don't
not
say you
officially,
get
you're
job.
not working. You're not working. You got issue, my man. You're not working. We agree.
But
You're
when you
going to
say
school,
job,
yeah. My
you
man,
imagine
you
maybe
got other
you
things to do. So when I say job, you not maybe like you said, people who understand job in the context of you employ, you getting salary every month. No, JJ is not employing working anywhere, but he has his
thank
own
you.
job. Maybe you got your own activities to carry on. So that's why.
Thank you
Yeah.
for
So thank you so
clarifying.
much.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Of
Amen.
course, I
Don't
won't
be
trouble
clear.
clarify
And they
it.
say clearing air make Prophet Kido go in jail.